Hi folks, welcome to the latest episode of the Wholly Irregular ECY Shedcast. Episode 19, I think, maybe. Hi, how are you doing? It's pretty chilly here actually. I put a big thick jumper on this morning and then was like racing around doing loads of stuff and then got really hot. So then I swapped to this one, which is quite a lot thinner, and now I'm freezing. But this jumper is very cool though, isn't it? This is my Hell Bunny Halloween Christmas jumper. So I've been looking forward to wearing this for some time. It's short sleeved though, that's the only trouble. And it's very definitely not wool, which is probably why I'm cold. That's the whole reason I started knitting and crocheting in the first place, to be honest. Anyway, it's gone nippy and it's about time really. It is the 29th of October, so you would expect some chilly weather really by this point, wouldn't you? But do you know the flowers are still out in the garden, the grass is still growing like crazy, so it's quite weird. So we'll see. I think it's meant to go colder over the next few days, so get a bit more seasonal I think. Anyway, we've got lots of beautiful autumn leaves flying around. They come off the big trees and into our garden, so that's very pretty. Anyway, how are you doing this week? I have to be honest, I was really tempted to not bother recording this week because I'm really tired and just kind of didn't really feel like it, but decided to crack on with it. There is a reason why I'm so tired, because a certain person, Claire, really sort of told me that I should go and see Dune at the cinema. That's D-U-N-E, not J-U-N-E, Dune, as in sand dunes. So we did, so we went last night, and we got back late, right before bedtime, and sort of sat down to decompress afterwards before heading to bed. But by the time we got to bed, I still wasn't decompressed and my brain was firing on all cylinders. So I didn't get to sleep for ages, so I'm really tired. But here's the thing, Dune, honestly, it's amazing. If you like sci-fi, fairly proper sci-fi, hard sci-fi, I might sort of describe it as, then you'll like Dune. If you like things like The Expanse, then I think you'll like it. But yeah, I went into it not knowing anything about it other than it was sci-fi and something about spice. That's pretty much all I knew. I knew that Batista was in it, the wrestler, because I'd noticed him in a trailer for it. And I think, Jason Momoa, is it? From Aquaman. I'm not sure if that's what his second name is. I know it begins with M. Anyway, I'm sure if you know him, you'll know who I mean. I knew that they were in it. Anyway, do you know what? It was amazing. I was captivated from start to finish. Just captivated. I've never had a cinema experience like that before. I really struggle to sit still through a film, and that's why I like watching them at home, because I can be doing other things whilst I'm watching. But in the cinema, I really, really struggle to sit through a whole film. I can't sit still for that long, and usually by like an hour in, I'm just kind of like, I'm fidgety and restless and I'm waiting for it to end. Even if I'm enjoying it, I'm waiting for it to end. But Dune, honestly, it had me sucked in. The sort of sound effects and music soundscape was amazing. The visual is amazing, and the storytelling is really good as well. So you just got the whole three. And the cast list actually is incredible. So yeah, really, really good. Honestly, can't get enough of it. I could have sat through more. And I just like was just concentrating so hard the entire time, and it's the best part of, I don't think it was actually 3 hours, but it was probably more than 2.5, I think, because it started at 7:30, and then we obviously had all the trailers. We were out at 10:30, I think, so probably 2 3/4 hours, but honestly it flew, and I really could have sat through more, which I don't think I've ever said before. So and Dave was the same. He really enjoyed it as well. So the Blu-ray is on our wish list. I think he will probably listen to the audiobook. He does audiobooks, and I think I'm gonna have to read the actual book at some point. So yeah, that's why I'm so tired today, because I was at the cinema last night. That was how rock and roll I am. But anyway, here we are. So we've had a really busy week as well, as always. I know I say that every single week, but it is true, honestly. Let me just dive straight in and tell you what we've been up to. So yeah, let's start with the yarn. First of all, projects. I have finished my Yarnling cowl, which I am wearing today because I just needed something light on my neck. I wear cowls such a lot, I really do. So there you go. That is a Lucky Dip selection of 15 yarnlings, plus a ball of Milburn 4-ply in Black Tulip. I need to weigh what's left, and then I'll be able to tell you how much I used of that. So this is going to become a free pattern, and I've already had people asking if we're doing kits for it and stuff like that. So yes, definitely, I'm well up for that. And there'll be a video with sort of tips and tricks and techniques, and talking about colours and like different options for edgings and stuff. And I've done some demo videos as well, so I will put all of that together over the coming week, although I'll try and do it as quickly as I can, but probably give it maybe another week before I get everything finished. So finished projects. I have an FO Friday, yay! And also this means that I can go back to my shawlography, because that has been on hold right at the end of Clue 2. So I'm back on with shawlography, hoping to finish Clue 2 pretty soon. So I'm on those. Is it a spoiler to say this? All I'll say is I'm on those short rows. Okay, and I'll leave it at that. I'll get my shawl out at the end of this video so that you'll be able to turn off beforehand if you want to. So that's projects. Yarn, which is why we're here after all, isn't it? So a couple of things this week. Firstly, there was Brimham High Twist. I actually just had a load of undyed left over. I can't remember how or why I ended up with it, but I did. So I have dyed that up in a range of seasonal colourways. I know it's really late to the party. Like, I'm already getting emails, or at least like even last week I was already getting emails from companies putting their Halloween stock on sale like 2 weeks before Halloween kind of thing. And I was like, I haven't even dyed any of those colourways yet. Like, I'm so behind. But anyway, just this year. So I finally got around to it and we got them up on the website. Some of them have sold out already, but what we have left is, I have this one which is called Slayer. That's a reference to Buffy the Vampire Slayer, not so much the band, but you can have the band if you want. They're also good. But yeah, it's basically Buffy the Vampire Slayer, because their school colours are, maroon and rust. Like the branding and stuff is those colours. So this was darker last year. It was actually maroon and rust. This year it's kind of dusky. It's like a pale version of the maroon with the rust mixed in, but it has kept the same name. So it's a lighter version of it, basically. But I really like the way it's sort of dusky. and yeah, kind of autumnal and soft and lovely. So that's Slayer. There's also Pumpkin Harvest. Good old orange. I love orange. I know you already know that, but I love orange. So Pumpkin Harvest, it's a proper pumpkin orange to my mind anyway, but it has got sort of some really gentle earthy shading to it. And I don't know if you can really tell from this skein without me undoing it all, but there's some subtle zingy highlights in this colourway as well. Kind of like they just look a little bit more yellowy. So it might look like a plain old orange, but it's not. There's a bit more to it than that. It just gives it that bit of depth. So that's Pumpkin Harvest. And then the other one that we have left is Haunted House. Again, I did this last year, and it's basically charcoal, sort of greys, with blues and purples in it. And this is what I imagine, like when you say haunted house, I think of the silhouette of a dark house, and I think of like the night sky and like a dusky kind of, that's where the blue and purple comes from. So it's like it's kind of like the silhouette of like a haunted old mansion, and then the night sky behind it. So yeah, welcome to my imagination. That's that one. So those are the three that are left. I also did Pumpkin Seeds, which has all gone, but here's one from last year knitted up. This year's was very similar, but the orange dapples were a bit darker. I could do more, I could definitely do more, it's just that I don't have it to hand right now. And this is a cowl that I made last year in it. So it was made, this was made on the knitting machine, excuse me. And so it's mattress stitched together, and then it's grafted together as well to make just a big old loop. So yeah, I love cowls. Did I say that? I really love cowls. I wear cowls such a lot. So Brimham High Twist, let me just tell you the stats on it. 85% superwash, superfine merino, 15% nylon. I don't know what else I was expecting to say there. 15% nylon. So these are 100 gram skeins, as always. They have 360 metres and 392 yards. Slightly less than your average 4-ply, but only by like 8 yards. No, by 40 metres actually, because it's normally 400 metres, isn't it? And these are 360. So a bit less, but not loads. And it's just this gorgeous high twist texture. Hopefully you can see that nicely. And then when it's knitted up, again, you've got that lovely texture. Let me just see if that will focus on that. Is that maybe as close as it'll go? Anyway, hopefully that's helpful. So that's how it knits up. So it feels perfectly smooth and lovely and soft, but you get this amazing stitch definition. It's so crisp and clear and lovely, and it shows the colours really crisply as well, which I love. So that's Brimham High Twist. So that's that from this week. And then the other thing that I did, which was a little bit bigger, was a load of Silverdale double knit. So Silverdale is our silver sparkle yarn, and this is the one with Stellina. Nape 4-ply is the one with Lurex in it, and it does look a bit different. Still sparkly, but in a different way. So this is the Stellina, and hopefully you can see that. It's got that beautiful, gentle sparkle to it. It's absolutely gorgeous, and this is a really lovely soft yarn. It's 75% merino, 20% nylon, and 5% Stellina. So these are 100 grams again, 212 meters, and 232 yards. So again, a pretty average double knit. So the reason that I've done this, and let me just find my information, which I should have looked up before hitting record, is that this is designed to tie in with a pattern release that's happening. Let me just see if I can see when. Where are we? I'm just looking at our lists, but I think it's already completed and has disappeared. Yeah, it has. Hang on a sec. Silverdale DK. See if that brings it up. Oh, I can't type. Right, here we are. Right, let me tell you about this pattern release. It's a cowl, another cowl, but we love cowls, well I do. So, right, this is by a designer called The Conscious Knitter, aka Susaya. And she has, let me just open this PDF here, designed, is it a cat? Why did I think that was a cowl? It's a hat. Shows what I know. It even says Lunar hat in the title. I don't know why I thought it was a cowl. So let me just bring this back up again, this PDF back up again. Right, so this is a hat. It's definitely a hat. And it's got like a cable pattern all the way up, but I think it's got a bit of lace to it as well, it looks like from the texture. Anyway, the point being that this is a pattern being released on Payhip and Lovecrafts, I think soon, I'm not sure exactly when. And as we always try and tie in yarn updates with pattern releases whenever we can, because it just makes practical sense. So, and we haven't had much Silverdale double knit. I've done one update of it before, its debut update. I have to be honest, it didn't sell that well, and so I haven't really got any more. Not because I didn't want to, but because there's just other things that I've prioritised in the meantime. Anyway, so when we knew about this pattern release, or at least Laura did, clearly I don't, we were like, oh well, this is probably the right time to do some more Silverdale double knit now. So that's a very, very long-winded way of saying that Silverdale double knit went live this past week. And I've done quite a few different colours. Let's just show you these. We have Loganberry, which is really gently variegated. I just love that subtle sparkle, it's just gorgeous. It's such a lovely soft yarn. We have Twig. We have Compost. Charcoal. Ash. This is the colour that we've sent to Sue that she's making her hat in. Summer Harvest. Oh no, Sand. This is Sand, sorry. Keep doing that. Tarn, which you saw just before. Cedar. Okay. And then we do still have a few skeins of one colourway left in stock, so I've brought that through as well, and that's Clematis. So the whole lot together look like that. Okay. And when I was photographing these, there were some really nice colour combinations. Hang on. Oh, that's good. this week's tea, Birdhouse Teas, Dressed Well it's called, and it's raspberry and blackberry, I think. It's certainly pink and fruity, it's delicious. So things like Loganberry and Twig, absolutely love those together. And then Compost, oh my god, I just don't think that combination's beautiful. Absolutely love it. You could give it a little lift with sand, that works really, really well. Or ash, again, that works really well. But then you've got like cedar, just love them together. You could put charcoal in there. You can make like a striped jumper or cardigan in this lot. That would look amazing. We have grey and blue. These are ash and tarn. Classic combo. What about tarn and sand? Again, they're lovely together. Oh, or tarn and twig. Yeah, really nice contrast there. Tarn, twig and ash. Adding sand. Oh yeah, that's building nicely. Bit of compost. Yeah, that's lovely. So yeah, not quite the quantity that I've done over the past few weeks, but sometimes you need to just back off a little bit, gather your wits, tidy the stock room. I've been doing that for the past couple of days. It is a constant battle, to be honest, but every now and then you've just got to give it a massive overhaul because it fluctuates so much, you know, stuff's in and out all the time. To my shame, I've only made one item in Silverdale double knit, I'm afraid, and that does need remedying, but as always, time is the limiting factor here. But it is another cowl, sorry, but I do just wear them all the time. I made this cowl. This is our Embleton cowl pattern. It's crocheted, excuse me. It's from our Drift collection, and this is a design by Tracy Todd Hunter. And I put the 3 stripes in randomly. You don't have to, or you could do it all striped. You could do whatever you want with this. It's written for double knit, the pattern. And so yeah, I have a sparkly one. The other colours are, we have a little bit of Hayton double knit in Larkspur there. We have Milburn double knit in Black Tulip. And then we've got Milburn double knit again in Compost. So I'll just pop that on and then you can see it for size. There you go. So I do like my cowls to fairly closely hug my neck. You know, I don't like them to be down here. I need that bit of warmth actually on my neck. So these two are both about as loose as I will go. Unless it's like a proper, it's just an accessory and I'm wearing it just for the hell of wearing it. And then I might wear it longer, but if it's like this time of year and I actually do need it for warmth, then I like them quite up around my neck. I like to be able to get my chin in. So yeah, that is our Embleton pattern. It should be available on our website and probably on Payhip as well. I'm sure Laura will correct that if I'm wrong when she does the show notes and stuff. So I'm going to put this one back on. Where is the back? Can't even tell where the back is. It should be visible. Yeah, there we go, because you can see all the ends, which I need to snip. I need to cut them to the quick. Now that it's blocked. So, that's this week's yarn. What else has happened this week? Quite a bit of, lots behind the scenes. I'll tell you what I did do last weekend. I went out for my first bike ride. I have to say, like, getting back on a bike as an adult is quite scary. I'm so scared of falling off, it's ridiculous. I used to ride my bike absolutely loads when I was in my teens. I did mountain biking, I did all sorts. I rode a road bike, you name it. But honestly, getting back on as an adult, it's way more scary. So that is my bike. So it has saddlebags, as you can see. So I have taken a bit of post to the red parcel post box because it's along the cycle track by a few miles, so I can hop on and just go along. There was one that actually could have gone today, but the weather is atrocious outside, so I'm going to leave that. So I went for my first proper bike ride last weekend, so that was exciting. And also last weekend, I had my first go at playing D&D. For those who don't know, that's Dungeons and Dragons, and it's basically like a choose your own adventure. I call it a tabletop role-playing game. So apologies if you already know all this, but obviously there are lots of people who don't. So you come up with a character and you have one person who is the game master, and it's up to them to kind of guide you through. You don't have, have a book like you would in a choose your own adventure. It's up to the person who's guiding you. I'm probably not explaining this very well. It's basically like a choose your own adventure. Let's just say that. It involves lots of dice rolling though, which is cool because you get pretty dice. Check these out. I've got 2 sets in here. Check those out. So the pink ones are ones that Dave bought for me. He's been playing D&D for years. So he bought me those because he was really excited about me having a go at D&D. But actually they're lightweight, being plastic, and it turns out that I prefer the heavy metal ones. So now I'm using these, which are ones that I bought for him last Christmas and have stolen back. But they're so cool, and they're just so satisfying because they're really nice and heavy. Anyway, so it's been a busy time here at ECY Shed Quarters. Cycling, D&D, yarn, just the whole lot, the whole range. So it doesn't seem like very much, but I think it's because usually there is so much. But that is basically all of the yarn stuff for this week. I can tell you what's in progress. I have dyed up a whole load of Brimham High Twist mini skeins. I've done 15 colours, and I've done some sets of fades as well, mini skein bundles. So they are ready to be processed next week, and then I'll photograph them as soon as I can. And then immediately following that, I'm now dyeing Rosedale 4-ply, which is our sparkly gold sock yarn. So we'll have a lovely big update of that coming soon. And I'm just doing a little handful of maybe not quite seasonal, but sort of inspired by the seasons colourways. Anyway, that's fun. And so that should be coming, I think next week might be a bit of a stretch, probably the week after. Other things on the list, which I can check here. So that was the Rosedale. Yes, so other things. I have Keswick, which is our tweed yarn. And I've got the Fingering, Double Knit and Aran all to do. So they're sat waiting. So that'll be coming ASAP as well. Coniston is on the list as well. That's our Merino Mohair singles yarn. So that, again, ASAP. And then the next one, this one is, we've got this down for mid-November, but that's not actually that far away now, is it? Is Pendle Arran. And we have had lots of people asking about this, but as I have mentioned countless times, it's all, at the moment, it's all just a case of getting things when we can get them. And Pendle Arran, we haven't been able to get. So, hang on. Excuse me. So, that's all the imminent stuff. There's plenty more that I want to do. Let me just have a look at my request list. Yeah, I mean, we've got requests for all sorts at this point because there's just so much that we haven't been able to get. We've got Eldwick Lace, that's our mohair, really want to do that soon. Bowland Arran, that's the pure Blueface Leicester Arran. Again, that's going to be as soon as we can fit it in. Things like Hate and Four Ply we can't currently get, but that kind of makes room for doing the things that we can get. So there's a lot on. That's it for now in terms of yarn. So I shall give you a quick moment if you want to turn off before I get my shawlography project out. And if you are turning off, thank you very much for watching. And if you're staying, then I shall have another sip of my tea. Okay, so if anyone's turned off, that's hopefully giving them plenty of time to do so. Here's my shawlography. Doesn't look much different to last week, actually. With such a busy weekend last week, just gone, I didn't get much time to work on this. So let me untangle. And here we are on the short row section. Okay, I've got it on relatively short needles, so it doesn't actually stretch out very much, which was silly. I should have put it on longer needles so I could have stretched it. But I do like to use needles that are slightly too short because I like it bunched up when I'm working on it. So yeah, that's where I'm up to. Let me do a closer view of those short rows. So that's the Coniston fingering in Thunder, and oh, that's the dog, and Keld fingering in Woodland. And then that one was Keld in Chestnut. We also have Pendle 4-ply in Plum, and Oakworth 4-ply in Hot Chocolate. Well, Hot Choc we call it, which you can see better there. It's making a really good light contrast colour actually. It's got sort of greys and browns just really gently mixed in. It's like you know when you get hot chocolate in the shop and it's got a lovely creamy frothy top and you stir it, and so you get like the swirling cream with that kind of the browny hot chocolatey colour. That's why that colourway is called that, because it reminds me of like frothy hot chocolate. And you always see it on Instagram, don't you? It's always on Instagram and it's always like, my hot chocolate never looks like that. Anyway, that's that colourway. And that is my shawlography. So yeah, not much progress over the past week. You know, things like going to the cinema, not good for knitting time. So I'm hoping to get this is clue 2. I'm hoping to get this finished this weekend. We're travelling to see my parents tomorrow, so there's a fair bit of travel time, which I could definitely work on short rows in the car. But it depends how much I get done tonight. So if I get these done, surely I won't get them done tonight, but if I did, and then the next section was complicated, then I have to leave this till Sunday, really. So we shall see. We'll see. I'm trying not to rush, and I'm trying to be all like, say yes, don't stress, which is great, but it makes it harder and harder to avoid spoilers. And I would like to avoid spoilers because the mystery of it is really what's keeping me kind of interested and motivated to carry on. I'm just loving knitting line by line with no idea what it's going to look like. So that's why I'm keen to crack on. It's not because like, oh, I want to finish it. It's nothing like that. It's just purely because it keeps the mystery there for me, which is my favourite kind of element of the whole thing. As it turns out, been a bit of a revelation that. So yeah, I'll see how that goes, but I'm sure some progress will be made, and I'll have probably quite a bit more to show you next week, I suspect. So yeah, that's all for today. Nice short little Shedcast. But don't by any means think that means there's not a lot going on, because there really, really is. So I shall see you next week, hopefully. Thank you for watching, and have a great week. Bye.